We're very humbled and honored by all of the support. And just as a baseline, things like this come out of a need to better love ourselves and to better love each other. And so we know that we need to start doing that by listening to each other and also speaking to each other, and in the hopes that that will speak to something in somebody else. And every time I hear her drop a poem, I just, part of me wants to cry a little bit, but in a good way. But I think that feeling, that core feeling, is when we really realize that we do connect. Like, all of our lives are very interconnected, and so the focus of the talk today is to kind of look to zero in on some of the social dimensions of how we are connected through race and gender, political, economic, ideological constructions. So I'm going to introduce the first speaker, Jennifer Rose, who is one of my, actually, Njoroge. Okay, start. Okay. Actually, I'll just introduce both of you, and then, but Njoroge will actually be speaking first. So Njoroge is Superman, otherwise known as assistant professor in the Department of History at the University of Hawai'i. He received his bachelor's from Santa Cruz and his master's and PhD from New York University. His research focuses on the U.S., Caribbean, and Latin American race and critical theory. Some of his representative publications are Chocolate Surrealism, Music, Movement, Memory, and History. Another one is dedicated to the struggle, Black music, transculturation, and the oral making and unmaking of the Third World. Check that out. Okay, and then our other speaker is another one of my heroes, Jennifer Rose. She is the Gender Equity Specialist here under the Office of the Chancellor. She provides training and advocacy for student, staff, and faculty with respect to sexual harassment, assault, stalking, technical assistance regarding prevention and risk reduction efforts to address gender-based violence on campus. She's been an advocate in violence against women for 17 years. She's a national trainer on the intersections of family law, domestic violence, and immigrant issues, particularly regarding strategies to increase cultural and linguistic accessibility and build community capacity to address violence against women. The list goes on and on, so I'm just going to fast forward. She has worked with the U.S. territories, assisting the bench and community-based advocates in strengthening infrastructure to address domestic violence and sexual assault, as well as human trafficking. She has advocated for the inclusion and leadership development of immigrant women and women of color within the Violence Against Women movement, particularly with respect to addressing access to justice issues. She was recognized for her social change lawyering work through the Hawaii Women Legal Foundation in 2006, and she received her Juris Doctor from UCLA School of Law. She is heroic. Both of these people are heroic members of our community, and we really just have to give it up to them. And I think that we can start. The central question that we asked them when we invited them to come here was to highlight stories from both of their lines of works that kind of really capture how interconnected these concepts are and the ways that we don't experience these things separately. We don't experience race strictly as race, or class strictly as class, or gender strictly. We can't, these aren't reducible concepts. And so we've asked both of them to kind of dig in the archives and talk to us a little bit about their insights. And they have very different positions, so we think that they will be beautiful together.